Thanks, everyone. I sincerely appreciate everyone that showed up yesterday at the kickoff. Some persons couldn't make it and reached out with an email. There were also other questions that were asked. So I'm going to use this moment to just focus on the career coaching program itself. We'll cut to the chase so that I can provide insight and clarity on it. And again, if you still don't get it and need further clarity to determine if this is what you want to do now, I also have a 15 minutes window open for you to have some clarity session with me. So the being what last framework, the whole idea about it is, one, is it possible for us to future-proof our career? Two, is it possible, given all the things that are happening in the world as things are evolving, is it possible for us to have a career that is not at the mercy of our current jobs, is not at the mercy of our environment? And I say the answer is yes. And the question is, do we have templates that already exist that we can leverage, we can use to achieve this? And the answer is yes. Many first world nations have publicly available documents stating how they attract exceptional professionals, exceptional talents into their nations. And so the Being What Last framework basically looked at these first world nations, the US, the UK, Switzerland, Ireland, France, Australia, Canada, and said, what do these nations look for when they say someone is an exceptional performer? When they say someone is an exceptional professional, what do they look for? And what I found out was that there are similarities across these nations. Not every one of them, but there are similarities across them. And so the question is, if we know what those similarities are, can we codify them, which is what I refer to as dimensions, that if we meet, then we become world class, we stand out. And that's the whole idea of the Being World Class framework. So this framework is built on publicly available documents by the First Nations of the world. And so, and you might probably be one of those persons saying, oh, I'm actually looking at the Global Talent Visa for the UK. I'm looking at the EB for EB1 or EB2, EB1 for the US. I'm looking at Talent Passport for France and some others. And you are seeing yourself, every time you look at those documents, you see, oh, I'm inadequate. This program can help you to be adequate because it's looking at the different dimensions, better prepared to look at those things. But beyond that, my goal is not, let people leave their country. No. The goal is, can you have a career that is borderless, a career that is not limited by your immediate environment? By leveraging this framework, that is possible. So if you look at my screen, after analyzing these different documents, what I found that there are things common amongst them. And what the Being World Class Career Framework has done is identify the top 8 that is most common across these nations. So you have recognition. So these nations expect that if you're an outstanding professional, you must have recognition. If you're an outstanding professional, you must have achievement. If you're an outstanding professional, you must have expertise. You must have innovation. You must have leadership. You must have impact. There's endorsement. Some of them require that you're endorsed. There's international reputation. There's what you're doing must be relevant to the fields that is of importance to them. And if those fields are important to them, we can infer quickly that those fields is what is relevant today and what will be relevant in the future globally. Now, the Being World Class Career Framework did not take everything. Rather, the top 8. And the premise for that is that if you meet the top 8, the others you would meeting them would be far much easier. I'll give an example. So endorsement and nomination is not included in the 8 dimensions. But you see, for you to be endorsed by any organization that these countries have identified for endorsement, you must already have expertise, you must already have innovation, you must already have leadership, you must already have impact. So it is those things that enable them to endorse you. So that's why I said many of the things, every other thing that has not been included, it's because of the thinking that if you meet the 8 dimensions, then you would have met a large portion of the requirement across these nations. And again, the goal is not to leave your country of abode. No, the goal is to build your career and design your career in such a way that you are borderless. You're not limited by anything. Now, each of these dimensions, when you look at those documents very closely, they expect that you demonstrate them as a person. They expect that your peers recognize that you demonstrate them. They also expect that others within your industry outside your peers, others within your field outside your peers, both nationally and internationally, recognize this dimension. And so the whole goal of this career coaching program is to enable you achieve these 3 parts: self, peers, and others across these 8 dimensions. So the goal is to help you build a blueprint to achieve it, and then put you in a cohort that would place a demand on you to achieve it. And I'll say it again. If you commit 8 weeks to this coaching program, your career cannot remain the same. And you know why I say it without batting an eye? Is because most people never take time to think through their career. Most people, even for those who have, a lot of times they just look at it at the work dimension, job, the next job, the next job. But the first nations of the world are saying that it's bigger than a job. Some of them require that you have employment, but most of them are not focused on that. You don't say anything about job. Yes, so you see employer sponsorship from out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nations. Only 4 of them are saying, oh, employer sponsorship is required. But you see, employers also, we want to have relationship with those that already have expertise, have innovation, have leadership, have impact, have clear achievement and recognition. So if you apply yourself, certainly the result will be outstanding. And if you don't make it into the cohort, maybe you don't have the time, and I really think everyone should have the time for some time to spend on pondering on their career, or maybe you don't have the resources to finance this at this time. Please take the information I've provided and personally apply it, and you will see a difference. You would certainly see a difference. Now, who is this coaching program for? It's for those that are purpose-driven. There's something bigger than just rising up every morning, going to work and earning a living. They believe they can create more value. They can touch more lives. They can expand their sphere of influence. They can influence more people. These are the kind of people that need to join this cohort. The second one is for those that are ambitious. If you don't have any ambition, if you're satisfied with just the way where you are now, there's really no reason to bother. I'll be sincere with you. The third one is those that are frustrated. There's a level of frustration and anger you need to change your status quo, to change your situation. Those who believe there's more I can do, but they feel stuck. They feel it doesn't seem I can't find the expression in this place of work. I can't find the expression in this job. I can't expand this. Now, you are the kind of people that should attend, that kind of a person, the kind of person that should attend the program, because now we're not longer looking at how do I get the next promotion. We are looking at how do I take on the world by achieving these 8 dimensions that even if your organization does not recognize you, and I don't have time to share my own story and experience, even if your organization does not recognize you, nations of the world will recognize you, and all of a sudden you will stand out. You will stand out amongst others. It's for those kind of people. Then people who are ready to get started. This coaching program is not for people that just want to take their time, maybe sometimes next year, this is good information, maybe some other time. No, people that want to do it now. It's already 6 months. And the 6th month of the year, are you satisfied? Are you happy with the progress you have made in your career? Do you want to do something about it? Those who want to do something about it now. And then finally, those who are doers. Because this is going to be action-driven, activity-driven, things that must be done. It's not going to be a monologue where you sit in and listen and say, well done, well presented talk, thank you. No, it's not going to be that kind of talk. You would have things you must do. So these are the 5 qualities that are required. If you have these 5 qualities, then I'll challenge you to consider being a part of this coaching program. Now, what's the expected outcome? The program is an 8-week coaching program. It requires 8-week intensive commitment. Some of us, we need to miss social events because of it. And there's a maximum class capacity for this maiden cohort, and that is 10 persons. Because again, we want the interaction to be strong. We want the outcomes to be strong. We want the deliverables to be clear. And for anyone, I would say you need at least 2 hours. I would say 3 hours every week to commit to looking closely at your career. Again, I say it, if you don't get into this cohort, please plan to commit time every week looking closely at your career. The difference will be outstanding because very few people do. So what are the 3 things that will come out if you take part in this coaching program? 1, you have a personalized blueprint across the 8 dimensions for your field, for your career, for the path you have chosen. So what does it mean to have field relevance as someone in the medical profession? What does it mean to have field relevance as someone in engineering? What does it mean to have field relevant if you are looking at it from an industry perspective? For example, in the energy industry, what does it mean to have field relevance as it applies to you across the 8 dimensions? Field relevance, international reputation, leadership, innovation, expertise, and others that make up the 8. The second is you would develop a personalized, clear action-based roadmap that is time-bound. Because again, a plan that does not have deliverable date is a wish list. But it's going to be time-bound, very clear, and then you can run with it. Time-bound, very clear, and you can run with it. And because you're going to be in a cohort, in an 8-week cohort with others, there'll be monitoring, there'll be accountability to ensure that you are pushing on or firing on all cylinders. And the last one is you would have confidence in what you develop. Now, truth is, change does not happen overnight. Change happens over time. So if you're going to cause a radical change on your career, you need to give the time to it. But you would be able to trust the document. One, others have done it. I have done it. I've seen others do it. I've seen others who add these dimensions intrinsically do it. I have done it myself with my own life. But because this is built on well-established pillars, first world nations of the world, their yardstick and parameter for defining what an outstanding professional is, you can trust that your outcome will be different. And yesterday I gave some examples. This is today my goal is to just provide information on the program itself. Now, what does the program itself contain? So what does it? Every week would have weekly materials that go out, handouts, video, and assignment. Every week there's an assignment to get done. And later on, I'll tell you the assignment for this week for those who are joining the cohort. An assignment to get done. The resources will be provided. The templates will be provided. The second would be a group working session. Again, so during the week, you review the materials, you do your assignment. Then on Saturday by 5 p.m. GMT, you sit down with the other 9 members of the cohort and review, revise, share notes. I would facilitate it, take feedback, do some adjustments, identify deadlines, see where there's a likelihood of not being able to meet it, adjust for it, and then be sure that your plan is strong and tight for execution. And then during the 8 weeks, you have the opportunity to have a one-on-one session with me, 2 hours, 1 hour one-on-one session to further again look at your career. The truth again is, the reason why I'm so convinced that anyone that goes through this cohort will stand out from his peers is because only very few people ever give this amount of rigor to looking at their career closely. Then someone can say, oh, my 2 hours, the way I will use it first is I'll first use it to develop a plan, and then the other one will be to check the plan, to check if the first one to see if the plan I've developed is makes sense or speaks to the requirement of these nations. And then the next one will be to review the progress I've made and opportunity for improvement. A person can say, well, I know what I'm doing, so I want to test if what I've developed is adequate enough. I want to test if my timelines are strong enough. And then when we meet next time, I want to talk about deliverables. So cohort participants have the right to use it the way they want. Now, the thinking behind this cohort, this program, is that if you aim for the sun, you will hit the moon. If you miss the moon, you get the top of a tree. But if you aim for something less, you really would get nothing. Look, the person that spends time deliberately, painstakingly, structured time on looking closely at his career, his outcome cannot be the same with someone who just leaves his or her own career to the wind. The outcome can be the same. So now, the weekly activities, these have already been defined. And so, week 1 will be, where are we today? So across the 8 dimensions, for each dimension, across the 3 sub-dimensions, which is yourself, your peers, and others, where do you stand today? So there will be an assessment. Later on, that Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, that framework, that assessment will be going out. And people would work on it, videos will be provided, resources provided on how to think about it. And so that will form the baseline upon which the rest of the weekly activities will go on. And each week, each of those dimensions will now be looked at closely, and plans developed for your own field, for your own industry, for your own space on how to execute, how to stand out on each of these dimensions. At the end of the cohort, we'll have a post-program assessment, self-assessment. Where am I now? Have I made progress? Frankly, if you commit time to it, even during the 8 weeks, you will see action items you can immediately start implementing. You will be surprised that it's not that we don't have the potential. It's not that we don't have the competence. The fact is that we are not aware of what is possible. In terms of program calendar, the program starts this week. The goal is every Tuesday, the handout goes out, the video goes out, the assignment goes out. On Saturday by 5 p.m. GMT, remember it's 5 p.m. GMT, and then you'd have to adjust for whichever country you are in to know what particular time that is. There'll be a live virtual meeting that cohort participants will join in, which is going to be a working session. We are looking, this is what I've developed. The questions will be asked, addressed. You would hear from others how they arrived at their roadmap. You will get feedback from others. At the end of the day, at the end of that group session, you would have developed something more robust than the one you initially worked on, and you would have learned from others and added to your own blueprints. And then during the period between the 8 weeks, cohort participants have the opportunity to schedule 1 hour sessions with me, 2 of it, and they can choose to use it the way they want. In terms of value, the actual money value for this program is $740. And I gave example yesterday. I have mentors, coaches I look up to. I have a lawyer, I have an accountant. And in engaging my own lawyer just for a 30 minutes conversation, I pay $100. Just as in, and it's not like we are writing anything. I'm getting feedback. And like I said yesterday, if you ever have the time to ask me, those conversations have saved my life. Have literally caused me to make, as in, life transforming decisions. So when you look at the weekly training materials, the cost for each week resource are provided, the group working session, the coaching session itself is $740. However, for this maiden edition, the price has been discounted by 60%, and it's going to be $297, and it's for this maiden edition. I'm asking myself, 60% discount, that is, man, off the chart. And the cohort starts this week. The first working session will take place this Saturday by 5 p.m. And again, if you want to be a part of this, I'll provide you the steps on how to go about it very shortly. It has a maximum capacity. When we have 10 persons in the room, we are done. It doesn't have a minimum, but it does have a maximum capacity. And the simple reason is so that the interaction can be strong, so that every participant can get real value from the program. So what's the payment procedure? Basically, all you need to do is send me a mail or a WhatsApp message. You can see my number and telephone number, stating your interests in the program. In that email also, request for a mode of payment. And then when you make a request for a mode of payment, then the payments options based on whether you want to do USD, whether you want to do Naira, and you can see that the exchange rate has been put at 1,500. You and I know that is not the exchange rate today. Will be sent to you, and then payments will be made, and you'll be added to the cohort. Now, I know people asked me yesterday, will there be installments? Yes, there would be instrumental. You can do instrumental payments, but we need to have a conversation. We need to have a plan for you on what that installment will be. We need to have some conversation. So please, this is the payment procedure. Again, you have on the screen the payment procedure. And some person might say, look, I don't have the money. I really want to do this program, but I don't have the money. Now, what I would say for such persons is, on a weekly basis, I produce videos, I produce resources that will help anyone that can run with it. So I would request that subscribe to my 3 means of sharing information. Now, my LinkedIn. I was supposed to, I didn't include my Facebook, but really information on LinkedIn and Facebook, they are very similar. So at least my LinkedIn and the YouTube channel, or my Facebook and the YouTube channel. And every week you get materials that you can always, but the truth of it is this. What I found out is the biggest challenge with most of us is that we cannot execute for a long time without someone being on our neck, without someone putting pressure, without an exam or a deadline. We can't execute. And so if you're that kind of person and you can afford it and you think this is the right time for it, then sign up for the coaching program. If you're thinking of any of those visas, we've seen a lot of YouTube videos, EB1, EB2, a global talent visa, and you're looking at it and saying, I don't meet this requirement. How can I get myself to meet this requirement? This program would help you to develop the roadmap to meet this requirement. And right from within the program, you start meeting some of those requirements. You feel, oh, wow, can humans do this? Yes, humans can. As several other persons have, and you can too. And I like this slogan by I can. I can. If you can, it means I can too. And then maybe you still want to find out, is this the right program for me? If you look down, you would see that that same one of the mails I sent out had made available 15 minutes. So I've opened up 15 minutes on Monday and Tuesday for anyone still interested and still want to have a conversation with me, need clarity. Is this the right time to do this? Oh, I'm doing a career change or a job change. What do you think? please, I'm open to have such conversations. You can reach out to me. Thank you for your time. My goal is to make this as short as possible. I hope this information has really helped. Do have a wonderful week. Thank you.